Now at 5, Pittsburgh celebrates the 4th of July with activities all day long. Plus, the city of Carthage throws their own red, white, and boom celebration. And
this Independence Day parades double as campaign stops and promise political fireworks. I'm Nicole Skanga at the White House as presidential hopefuls court voters in key states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh hosted a 4th of July celebration with arts, crafts, and other fun activities at Lincoln Park all day today. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Amber Jenkins. Visitors had the chance to join a pickleball tournament, a baby contest, and even a fishing derby. Kids could also enjoy the amusement park at Lincoln Park, and for adults, a car show with more than 70 vehicles was an attraction of the Independence Day celebration.
We're thankful to have a country that we can live in and be free, and this is the main reason for the celebration, and I think that everybody ought to keep that in mind as we celebrate those that gave their lives so that we could be here today.
The kids like the kiddie land. All the adults, of course, love the car shows, and we have to go to the arts and crafts, priority 1.
In the afternoon, multiple fun competitions took place. Cornhole tournaments and a free disc golf clinic were also part of the activities. This evening, more attractions are to come. Live music starts at 6:30 p.m. and the firework display is at 10 p.m. Carl Junction also started its 4th of July celebrations this morning. The city held its annual Independence Day parade earlier today. A number of groups made their way down Main Street. Organizers say this tradition is one of their favorite parts of the 4th of July holiday.
We love to put on this parade. We love to honor our veterans and our nation and just get our community together for some fun, get the kids excited, just a big community event.
If you're looking for fireworks in Carl Junction this evening, Broad Brook Golf Course is putting on a display. It's slated to start about 9:45. And the Wed, Right, and Boone community celebration is now underway. It's at Municipal Park in Carthage. Folks are enjoying a watermelon feed, freedom pit, and a ninja course, and much more. Music starts later this evening. The event continues until 10 p.m. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot one for us today, but mainly dry. There's been a few isolated little guys that have tried to pop up during the afternoon, but you can see most of us look pretty good. There's a couple little thunderstorms trying to pop up northern parts of Greenwood County, but most of you are going to stay dry through the evening hours. I know a lot of outdoor activities, but we are tracking thunderstorms to our northwest, Nebraska, Kansas, down into parts of Colorado, and eventually this is going to slide east-southeast and give us at least chances for thunderstorms by the time we head into the morning hours. It is hot, low to mid-90s across the region. You factor in the humidity, you get those wonderful heat indices. It feels about 95 to 100. So it is going to be hot through the evening hours, but again, mainly dry by 10 p.m., 82 degrees. Plenty of chances for thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
Here's a look at some of the fireworks displays lighting up the sky tonight. In Joplin, the Independence Day celebration starts at MSSU at 5:30 with food trucks. Music starts at 7:30 and the fireworks are at 9:45. A 4th of July celebration is happening in Miami at Buffalo Run Casino. Gates open at 5:30. The live entertainment includes a hot dog eating contest. There's also games for the kids, and it all wraps up with a fireworks show at dark. And over in Independence, Kansas, a celebration in the park is already underway. Rides and mini golf are wrapping up about now. However, there's music at 8 p.m. Fireworks will start about 9:30 p.m. And in Fredonia, a community 4th of July barbecue is happening at the Rotary Park. In addition to food, there will be games and other activities. The Fredonia firework display is slated for dusk. Republican presidential hopefuls are courting some of the first in the nation primary voters this Independence Day, while President Biden marks the 4th of July from the White House. Nicole Skanga explains how to slow simmer on this campaign trail.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was among the Republican presidential hopefuls working the parade routes in New Hampshire this July 4th.
We need people to stand up and fight back, and that's exactly what we're doing.
They're courting first-in-the-nation primary voters in a race that's been slow to heat up this summer. Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez told CBS Mornings this election cycle, big GOP donor money is funding candidates other than former President Donald Trump.
You have a lot more conversations behind the scenes of people waiting to see if they can really be that alternative.
Among them, former Vice President Mike Pence, who celebrated Independence Day in Iowa.
For me, it was vitally important to be here where the journey to the White House always begins.
President Biden may look to last week's Supreme Court rulings on affirmative action and student loans to shore up some key voting blocs in his coalition, including young people, LGBTQ+ voters, and Black and Hispanic Americans.
Those are going to be groups that are going to be buoyed, that are going to be more enthused to show up and to turn out in 2024 because of those decisions.
Speaking from the White House to the nation's largest teachers union meeting in Orlando, President Biden took a swipe at Republicans.
Let's stand with teachers and educators against politicians who are trying to score political points by banning books.
The president is set to host active duty military families and other events leading up to the annual fireworks display in the nation's capital. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
Former President Donald Trump had no campaign plans this holiday, saying he was spending it with his family. The oldest living survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre is sharing her story. In a memoir entitled "Don't Burn My Story," Viola Fletcher writes about the 1921 tragedy. At 109 years old, Fletcher remembers when the white mob ran through Tulsa's Greenwood district, killing hundreds of people and destroying homes. Fletcher was only 7 years old when it happened. She says it wasn't something people talked about as she grew up. She believes you're never too old to tell your story. Still ahead on KOAM News at 5, fireworks can be lots of fun, but even the most simple ones can be dangerous. A warning before you give your kids sparklers this 4th of July. And travelers heading home, make sure you plan ahead. Why you may want to leave as early as possible next. Topping today's Health Watch, maternal mortality, meaning death during or up to 1 year after pregnancy, more than doubled in the U.S. between 1999 and 2019. That's according to researchers at the University of Washington and Mass General Brigham, who looked at the data by state and among racial or ethnic groups. The study found the South had high mortality rates across all regions. Black women had the highest rate for maternal mortality over all ethnic and racial groups. The largest increase was seen in American Indian and Alaskan Native populations. A study from the University of Massachusetts found COVID rapid tests were more effective when patients had no symptoms, tested 3 times at 48-hour intervals, and when those with symptoms tested twice, 2 days apart. Researchers found false positives from the tests were low. However, for those with the initial negative results, they recommend using caution in public if they suspect they were infected or exposed. The 4th of July is here, and the celebrations often include fireworks. For children, that often means waving sparklers in the air. But as Bradley Blackburn tells us, the dangers of sparklers are real, and they shouldn't be kept away from kids.
They're fun and fascinating to look at, a 4th of July favorite for many children. But as this demonstration shows, sparklers burn fast and hot.
Sparklers look great, but they're actually extremely dangerous because they do burn at 2,000 degrees, which is as hot as a blowtorch.
New data from the Consumer Product Safety Commission finds sparklers were associated with an estimated 600 emergency department treated injuries last year.
And it is the #1 cause of injury for children under 5 when it comes to fireworks. And some of the burns that we've seen have been horrific. And so it's really important to, keep them out of the hands of children. Any fireworks, but particularly sparklers.
A Mott poll conducted last year shows 63% of parents of children ages 6 to 10 and 38% of parents of children 3 to 5 have celebrations that include sparklers. If you're going to let children use them, experts caution it's critical to teach kids to hold the sparkler an arm's length away. Also, consider a child's age and maturity, including their ability to follow rules. There are ways to keep the spark alive safely so everyone can enjoy the 4th without getting hurt. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
If you're going to use sparklers, it's also important to only light up one at a time. New research shows changes in state medical cannabis laws are not reducing the use of opioid or non-opioid treatments for chronic pain. The study shows from Weill Cornell Medicine explain the insurance claims in states that allow the use of medical cannabis compared to those that do not. It found no substantial difference in the proportion of patients receiving pain medications or procedures. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, we'll have the highlights from the nation's hot dog eating contest.
Plus, we have thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up next. Well, I hope you've had a great 4th of July so far. It is hot outside, but most of us have been on the dry side, and most of us will stay dry as we go through the evening hours. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But you can see we do have some cumulus clouds that have been popping up. We also need some rain. Most people don't want it tonight, but we do have chances as we go through the next couple days. Look at this. We're below normal by over 9 inches of rain. Temperatures right now, most of us are sitting kind of in the low to mid 90s, a little bit hotter once you get into our western counties. And then, of course, you can factor in the humidity. Dew points kind of in that 65 to 70 degree range, which makes it feel sticky to kind of muggy outside. So that's why we have heat indices upper 90s to near 100 once you get into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. All right, planning your evening. A lot of people outside. We're going to slide back through the 90s by 10 p.m. So really the time most people do fireworks, about 82, 80 by midnight. And again, like I said, most of us dry. We've had a couple little isolated little thunderstorms. We got a couple little guys popping up just northwest of Yates Center, but most of you will stay dry tonight until this little complex starts to head toward us. And this is going to be very late tonight, mainly the northern half of the region. We're talking after 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we are going to get scattered thunderstorms late tonight, tomorrow morning, and then additional ones popping up late in the day tomorrow. So here's Wednesday. We at least have a slight threat for severe weather. It's a level 2 out of 5. The main threat here is going to be wind. And again, this is tomorrow evening, 4 p.m. to about midnight. I'm going to keep all the threats low, but of course, something we'll watch as we go through about the next 24 hours. Let's step through time. I'm going to stop at 10 p.m. Most of us looking pretty good, sitting into lower 80s. Watch this complex starts to dive in late tonight. So we're looking at 4:30 in the morning. As we continue through the morning hours, scattered thunderstorms. Here's 7 a.m. And then still hit and miss storms through the morning. Then I think we'll dry out, heat up once we get into the afternoon, and then additional thunderstorms will start to fire. And those are going to be the ones that could be strong to severe. So this is tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Scattered thunderstorms could get some heavy amounts of rain as we go into Thursday morning. So most likely starting the day on Thursday with showers and thunderstorms as well. And then once we get into the afternoon, a little bit cooler on Thursday, high temps into the 80s. All right, potential rainfall because we need it. So we're going to go all the way through Friday because we have numerous bands that are going to rotate through over the next several days. So hopefully we can get 1 to 2 inches of rain in here over the next few days. Starting with thunderstorms tomorrow, ending with thunderstorms, high temp right around 94 as we go into the afternoon. Look at Thursday, quite a bit cooler, high of only 83. We are going to have clouds sticking around most of the day. 86 Friday, 86 on Saturday, back to 90 by the time we start Monday, and then we accelerate up through the 90s for the middle of next week. So at least we're going to get some better temperatures in here and some chances for rain, which we need.
Yeah, hopefully we get some of that rain. So
let's hope so.
Well, coming up, a new study shows that 3 of the 4 states are among those with the highest number of smokers in the nation. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Federal Trade Commission is working on to ban fake product reviews. The TFC proposed a rule that would ban fake reviews as well as suppressing negative reviews and paying for positive reviews. Violations may result in hefty fines. Fake 5- and 4-star reviews are rampant on sites like Amazon and Google. The FTC noted artificial intelligence now make it even easier to generate deceptive reviews. The commission is now taking public comment on the proposal for 60 days. After then, it will reevaluate. With the 4th of July landing on a Tuesday this year, plenty of people are turning the long weekend into a vacation. AAA projects that nearly 51 million Americans travel more than 50 miles or more by train, plane, automobile, or cruise for the holiday. Soon, those people will have to start thinking about how they're going to get back home. Brian Kelly, the founder and CEO of Point Sky, says people who are driving should plan ahead.
We recommend leaving, and this is the same for flights as well, as early in the morning as possible. A ton of people are hitting the roads this year. I always like using apps like Gas Buddy because gas prices vary dramatically state to state, and it'll actually help you plan and fill up at the cheapest gas stations.
For flyers, Kelly recommends signing up for TSA's pre-check, which allows travelers to get through security faster. If you aren't able to, but be sure to get to the airport early. Strong storms brought chaos to Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest in New York City. The severe weather arrived before the men's competition, prompting the NYPD to shut down the outdoor event. Organizers were eventually able to reset the stage and pull it off. Astrid Martinez has there.
Boos rang out as thousands braving storms in Brooklyn, New York, learned the men's division of Nathan's hot dog eating contest was delayed, then temporarily called off.
We woke up really early today on the holiday. We were really excited, and so it's pretty disappointing.
I came here all the way from Los Angeles. Yeah, to see him. Kind of disappointing that I didn't get to see my idol.
Are you ready? This is her idol, Joey Chestnut, 15-time champion in the men's category, who did eventually compete 2 hours late. Joey Chestnut! And he won again, stuffing down 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. The Dog Eat Dog competition broadcast on ESPN. He's relishing his victory after the day's weather woes, but a world record it was not, missing that high 76 mark by 14 wieners and buns.
The contest to determine who is top dog is a holiday tradition taking place on the 4th of July for the last 5 decades.
Miki Sudo! The boardwalk weather was better for Miki Sudo, who wolfed down 39.5 dogs to win the women's division, her 10th championship.
I feel like this is a beautiful and a great American tradition. So what better way to celebrate the 4th?
It did rain on everyone's parade, but Sudo and Chestnut are taking home 10 grand apiece, along with glittering mustard belts, designating them 2 of the top eaters in the land. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, Coney Island, New York.
16 men and 15 women from 7 different countries competed in this year's contest. A new report shows people in 12 states are more likely to smoke or to smoke even more than people in the rest of the U.S. The report by the anti-tobacco nonprofit Truth Initiative dubbed those 12 states Tobacco Nation. Among those 12, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. The 12 states have about 21% of the U.S. population, but 28% of smokers. Smoking prevalence there about 50% higher than in the rest of the U.S. Truth Initiative says this can be attributed to a weaker local policy on tobacco prevention. The final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, some good news when it comes to gas prices. Then on KOAM News at 6, we'll have more from the Pittsburgh 4th of July party, and we'll take a look at which fireworks are most popular this year. Plus, KOAM has some new faces. We're giving you a more in-depth introduction to our new sports director, John Dales. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then, of course, for KOAM News at 6.
Yeah, I think most of the weather is going to be pretty good this evening. There are a couple isolated little guys out there, but most of you will stay dry until late tonight. Scattered thunderstorms into tomorrow morning, and then again tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. That's probably when we're going to get our best shot for thunderstorms in here.
Alrighty, well, thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.